The only people Trump let in as refugees are now fleeing America because of him. Do you remember when Trump granted refugee status to white South Africans called Afrikaners because he claimed that they were facing racial genocide by black South Africans? Well, now those same people are deciding to flee the United States to go back to South Africa because they think Trump's America is too expensive and too violent. Like Andrew Vitch, who originally left South Africa after being held up at gunpoint in his car, but now he feels that America is far more violent. Quote, "People are being shot in broad daylight. American citizens are being shot and killed. I don't want to live in a place like this." Or Benjamin Schoenwinkel, a 59-year-old Afrikaner who flew to America after Trump's announcement, but when he landed here seeking asylum, he was arrested and sent to a detention facility in Georgia. In total, more than 12,000 South African expatriates have checked their eligibility to return home since November, a 70% increase in 6 months, and more than 1,000 people have already reclaimed their citizenship, citing political turmoil and increased cost of living in the US. So after Trump and Stephen Miller spent months trying to build this political narrative about saving Afrikaners from white genocide, those same people are fleeing America to get away from the problems created by Trump.
So currently, as of right now, when Trump admitted the white South Afrikaners as refugees claiming they were victims suffering of the white genocide, apparently Leon Schreiber, the South African Home Affairs Minister, reports that 1,000 have returned back to South Africa because America is too dangerous, too expensive, and too low quality of life. And it is true, y'all. They're going back to South Africa because now it's apparently too dangerous, too expensive, and too low quality of life. Wow. And the comments are just eating this up. Like, this is crazy, y'all. What do y'all?
It is said that more than 70,000 Afrikaners have shown interest in taking up Donald Trump's offer in becoming refugees in America. When they do, we request government to provide us with their addresses so our people can go and get houses and farms. Ladies and gentlemen, before I say anything, it's important to understand that I think that these 70,000 Afrikaners don't represent, the most of us. These are 70,000 very desperate people that believe, even though it's a false belief, that when they get to America, they'll have the American dream that they always saw on television. But I'll tell you one thing now, the grass is not always greener on the other side, especially if Donald Trump is your president. Yes, I don't think that the majority of these very desperate people leaving for the States are people with 100-hectare farms. These, like I said, these are desperate people.
Hello brothers and sisters, welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you are doing great from wherever you're watching me from. It is crazy that, the truth is just coming out. And in some way, the truth always has a way of catching up with people. Remember, I don't know if it's a year ago or maybe several months ago, when white South Afrikaners left South Africa because of they were not feeling safe. In short, they were feeling like there is some sort of genocide that is happening in the United States, and Africans in South Africa didn't like them. And so that's what, according to what Trump said. And Trump, together with Elon Musk, they decided to we are going to relocate these 70,000 white South Afrikaners to the United States. One thing that I'll say, and I'll say it as a matter of fact, is that this is an hypocrisy. This is an hypocrisy because if you're a person that understands the apartheid in South Africa, that part of history tells you that it's the opposite. It's not what they're actually trying to see. But let's just leave that at that. What I'm trying to say is that these people got into the United States and they learned that Trump lied to them. Trump lied to them. On top of that, right now they are in the midst of the war that is going on right now. Now, because of the fear that they have, they are trying to relocate to South Africa. So tell me, they are now finding out that the United States now is not safe like in reality. Before, they were just hypocrites. They were just this group of people that just want to get out of South Africa. I mean, these are just a group of people that were looking for opportunities, thinking that there are greener pastures in the United States. So, according to them, including Mr. Donald Trump, when they strike a deal that these 70,000 white South Africans will be going back to the United States, as they reach the United States, the opportunities that they thought they'll get, everything that they had already planned that they'll get, didn't happen. Because first to begin with, they started getting succumbed to high cost of living, because Trump just got them into the United States and just led them there. Some started calling phones back home to South Africa to seek for help. Some saw to it that it's not safe. But right now, currently, majority of them are appealing to the US government that they want to seek refuge back to their country. Because now, they're starting to see South Africa as a safe place. That tells you everything about these people, right? That tells you everything about these people and everything that you need to know. So brothers and sisters, I'm gonna let you watch this video, and then, I'm gonna be back. I'll be sharing my thoughts in regards to this. And if you're watching this video for the first time, I'm asking you to please subscribe to the channel, join the membership, and really get to what I can offer you. But until then, let's get into it. I'll be back with my 2 cents in regards to this.
So let me get this straight. Donald Trump and Elon Musk and racist Afrikaners tried to tell us and the world that they were being persecuted over in Africa. And therefore, Donald Trump and Elon Musk put into place a special refugee program for white Afrikaners to immigrate to the United States. And now that they have had a taste of the American dream, they now want to pack their shit and go back home. That's what y'all telling me? Yep, that's what they trying to tell me, y'all. They are reporting that white South African refugees are choosing to head back home instead of living in the United States under the Donald Trump regime. Now listen, I know a few months ago there was viral news stories out there talking about the white South Afrikaners were complaining because the immigration programs was not coming through with their end of the bargain. They were being put in dangerous places to live. Some of them didn't have like a place to live. They were in hotels. They were hungry because SNAP benefits or whatever programs that they were involved in wasn't providing them with the finances needed to feed themselves and their families. The jobs wasn't coming through. I read a few reports about this a few months ago, but now apparently it has gotten worse because Donald Trump, they now see that Donald Trump is a fucking madman, and their white savior, South African savior, was doing absolutely nothing for them. They have to realize that they were political pawns in a game that Donald Trump and Elon Musk was playing. And now, over there in South Africa, they have made it so these people can get their citizenship back, and they taking their ass back home. The Trump administration launched a program offering refuge to white South Africans, particularly Afrikaners, citing concerns over crime and alleged persecution, claims that South African authorities denied. While some took advantage of the U.S. program, growing worries about mass shootings, immigration enforcement, and political instability in the U.S. have prompted many to reconsider and return home. ICE is rounding up immigrants. They don't want no parts of it, right? Mass shootings is a huge problem here in the United States. They don't want their children going to school and being shot up, right? And South Africa, or wherever they're coming from, over in Africa, has opened up a program which allows them to get their citizenship back if they want to move back home. They said, bitch, we out. They done made improvements in the infrastructure over there, like the near end to daily power outages, and they getting enhanced private security, and that has boosted their confidence among those who are packing up their shit and heading back home. Analysts say the trend reflects both practical and economic considerations. Remote work has made it easier for professionals to live in South Africa while keeping jobs abroad. Many see South Africa as offering a safer, more affordable, and more stable environment than some countries they have lived in, including the United States. But they tried to tell us that they were being persecuted and being unalived by the dozens or the hundreds over there in South Africa. They got over here and saw that the grass definitely was not greener on the other side. Y'all let me know your thoughts. I'll see y'all later.
So if you've ever had trouble understanding white privilege before, this whole white Afrikaner refugee debacle might paint a clearer picture for you. This is happening at the same time the rights of others are being stripped away, ignored, and innocent people are being rounded up illegally, including those who have been protesting an actual genocide. Just to sum things up very quickly for you, there is no genocide happening in South Africa, and especially not a white genocide. There's never been a clearer example of imperialist white supremacist hypocrisy. The very same folks denying genocide in Gaza are the ones believing that there is a genocide happening in South Africa. Apparently a genocide that targets only a specific group of white people, Afrikaners, within the various other white South Africans who descended from many different groups such as the British, Greeks, Portuguese, Lithuanians. There are no claims of genocide against these white South Africans. Ask yourself why. What's really going on here? Now, I understand that many South Africans leave the country for better opportunities, and this applies to South Africans of all races. But peddling dangerous lies about the country, especially one pushed by alt-right, racist civil rights groups like AfroForum and shady ex-South African billionaires like Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, Dave Sachs, and Joel Pollack, is just wrong. It undermines the country and it disrespects the real suffering that many South Africans, again of all races, face because of violent crime and poverty in the country. Not to mention actual refugees fleeing an actual genocide. Just stop it. It is pathetic and embarrassing. And you should know better than sharing right-wing racist propaganda in 2025.
They are struggling. So the Afrikaners, Elon Musk had Trump bring to the United States because they were being prosecuted, are stating they are having serious issues surviving in the United States. And the only person that can be blamed for this struggle is Trump himself. Trump cut a bunch of funding that Biden set up for refugee programs. And it wasn't just the money that Trump cut, it's also the staff that he cut at refugee offices and other federal offices because of the Doge department. Elon Musk did this to his own peoples. So these refugees are saying they're only making $2,000 a month, which is barely enough to handle their rent. They're saying the houses they're in are roach infested. They're saying there's a lack of access to refugee support, again, because of Doge cutting all of that support. And they feel very isolated from these programs, and the language barrier is bothering them. So I'm not sure what more can be said about this struggle and why cutting refugee programs and the people physically working in those refugee programs was a bad idea, because even the people he is trying to help. The better immigrants, as they would say in the Trump administration, are now struggling to be here. Y'all have a good day.
Y'all remember this time last year when the Trump administration brought over that group of white South Africans claiming they were facing racial persecution and injustice in their home country? I have an update. Out that the majority of them are struggling here in the United States. They are only given $2,000 a month, which typically their rent eats up, so they have no more funds for food, transportation, anything extra. They're living in roach-infested apartments. They are living in an unsafe area. It's almost as if the United States is oppressive. Tried to tell y'all. And if anything, this just further goes to show that there are flaws within our immigration system, flaws within our asylum system. There are flaws. It's not the people, it's the system. This is what happens when our politicians are more interested in using immigration as a talking point, as a tool for election, rather than an actual issue that needs to be addressed rather immediately.
If you're running away to another country, it's either because you are in absolute peril and someone's coming to kill you right now, there is a genocide, or there is some kind of absolutely abominable stuff that's happening to you, and you're being targeted because of your ethnicity, your skin color, your religion, your language, your culture, whatever. In the case of the white farmers who are seeking refugee status, or who Trump has given refugee status to, I wish them well. I have no ill will towards them. They don't feel at home here anymore. They feel like they are up against the wall. They don't feel that they have any possibility for their children to achieve success here, whatever the case may be. So they're going to give it a try in America. You do whatever you want. And if refugee status helps you to get there, go with my blessing. I'm not particularly interested.
About 3,500 South Africans have entered the United States as refugees since the program started in May 2025. Many white South Africans and Afrikaners have welcomed Trump's support, but insisted they nevertheless want to remain in their country. And others who left decades ago are now returning.
About white South Africans returning back home in droves from the United States of America. So it turns out it is better to live in South Africa for white South Africans than it is for them to be in the U.S. That is according to them, by the way.
U.S. President Donald Trump's statements that South Africa's white minority is being persecuted by the country's black majority government.
Terrible things are happening in South Africa.
Pretoria says there is no evidence of discrimination.
White South Africans, often referred to as refugees by the American right, are choosing to go back to South Africa, of all places, despite the ongoing white genocide that's taking place. And yes, that's the actual term that Trump himself used last year when referring to Afrikaners.
It's a genocide that's taking place that you people don't want to write about. Farmers are being killed. They happen to be white.
You heard that right. The president, who's complicit with the genocide of Palestinians in Gaza and ethnic cleansing in the West Bank, had the audacity to accuse another country of doing a genocide. And within his first month back in office, he took action to stop said genocide. He signed an executive order which basically accuses South Africa of hypocrisy, ironically enough, because they're accusing Israel and its allies of committing a genocide at the International Court of Justice, even though they're supposedly guilty of genocide themselves, according to Donald Trump and his delusions. Now, rolled out the red carpet for these motherfuckers, where the deputy secretary himself greeted them with open arms when they arrived.
Welcome to the United States of America. A lot of you, I think, are farmers, right? When you have quality seeds, you can put them in foreign soil and they will blossom, they will bloom. And we are excited to welcome you here to our country where we think you will bloom, and we will hopefully allow you to have fulfilling lives for your children, and then we will benefit alongside you.
So as you can see, they treat white immigrants very differently than black and brown ones, but it's not just that the Trump regime was incredibly kind to them, because kindness is one thing. They offered these quote-unquote refugees cash assistance, as well as housing, free healthcare for a year, job placement assistance, and even legal aid to help them navigate the complex American immigration system. And if these same benefits were offered to black and brown immigrants, or even refugees, like actual refugees, right-wingers would lose their fucking minds. They'd shit their pants and foam at the mouth and talk about how we just can't afford this, but since it's being offered to white people, we don't hear a peep from them.
To the 50 Afrikaners who fled to the US, calling themselves refugees, you are not refugees. You are just a case study of white flight dressed up as martyrdom. You're not escaping violence, you're escaping equality. South Africa didn't chase you away. You ran. Yes, South Africa is one of the most violent countries in the world. Yes, brutality exists. But let's be honest, violence affects all communities, not just white farmers. Black, colored, Indian, and yes, white people are all targets of a national crime crisis. What we have is a breakdown in safety, not a white genocide. This is not ethnic cleansing, it's criminal collapse, and running to the US won't fix it. You are part of a 7% minority, but somehow still manages to control over 70% of the wealth. That is not persecution, that's privilege on a guilt trip. And let's be real, if we tried to relocate just half of the Afrikaans population, it would take decades, billions in logistics, and you'd still end up culturally homeless in a country that don't want your apartheid baggage. You're not brave, you're not victims. You're scared of a world where you don't get to be in charge, and that makes the rest of the Afrikaans community cringe, because you make us look weak. South Africa is broken, and it's our problem to solve. So if you don't have the spine to do so, stay gone.
A white man flew from Johannesburg, South Africa to Atlanta, where he claimed asylum status as an Afrikaner from South Africa, claiming that he was being persecuted in that country for his race and his political views and was seeking asylum in the US. He was immediately detained and put into an immigration detention facility and processed for removal. Now, he has been sitting there since September, and he has a hearing slated, thanks to a lawyer, that is scheduled for February. He'll remain in the detention facility with DHS saying he violated the law. We have a program that they should follow, and well, he didn't follow it, so therefore he is a criminal and we'll treat him as such. Both this Afrikaner and his lawyer say that his due process rights were violated under the Constitution, and he doesn't understand why he's being detained with actual criminals. He was slated to go to Arkansas and live with some friends that he has there, but now he's saying he might reconsider all of this and go back to South Africa because he had a better life there.
I had to leave a 5-bedroom house, my car behind, my dogs behind, my mother behind.
There are voices out there, including the South African president, who has called you cowards.
Yeah.
You've got other Afrikaners who are saying that you're not refugees, you're opportunists, that you've abandoned the country. What would you say to those people?
I had to leave a 5-bedroom house, which I will lose now because I'm not going to pay for it. My car behind, my dogs behind, my mother behind. I didn't come here for fun, but my children are safe. If you're white, you're wrong in South Africa. You're a land thief, you are a racist. I had nothing to do with apartheid. Nothing, nothing, nothing.
What was it like when you were greeted by the Trump administration?
It was overwhelming. I didn't expect that because I thought we're going to be in a shuttle bus, taken somewhere, and we must start working. All of us that is there, we know we're going to start here from the bottom because we are the new people here. We're going to start from the bottom.
So remember last year when Trump made a big thing about white South Africans being persecuted and allowed them to get to the front of the line, the front of the immigration line, and given them refugee status? Remember that? Well, Reuters is reporting that many are returning home because better quality of life in South Africa for them. One of the people interviewed in the story said that people are being shot in broad daylight. He cited mass shootings and the fact that immigration officers are literally unaliving its own citizens. So this is interesting coming from a group of people who were given preferred status, essentially moved to the front of the line to immigrate to the United States. And they're going back. It's better there. We've been sold a bill of goods in this country. America, greatest country on earth. Really? Certainly not anymore. Maybe once was. Not anymore. Trump and MAGA fucking ruined it.
Well, well, well. It seems like a lot of expats, South Africans, majority of them being white, are returning to South Africa because they fear for their lives in the US. Mr. Andrew Veitch says he left SA because he was held at gunpoint in his car and he felt unsafe. Now he says he fears for his life because there's greater threats in the United States, citing mass shootings in public places as well as violence by US immigration officers. He is one of 12,000 people that have checked their citizen status online since November last year. 12,000 people are showing interest. Minister of Home Affairs, Leon Schreiber, says 1,000 have reclaimed their citizenship, a number expected to grow significantly as this new program that has revoked the 1995 law that says if you go and live abroad, your citizenship is revoked. That has been changed so people can apply again for citizenship. I for a fact know that the DA is going to use this as a strategy to get more white people to return to South Africa to increase their voting power.
So brothers and sisters, welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you are great and you are doing good from whatever you're watching this video from. Now, white South Africaners, they are finding out that the United States is not safe for them. But what did Trump do? Trump took 70,000 white South Afrikaners and put them in the United States and gave them opportunities that he did not give majority of the American citizens while everyone is succumbing with the tough economy. But guess what? It didn't take long when white South Afrikaners started finding out that indeed they just went into a den of lions. And the den of lions is the United States. I mean, it didn't take long for them to understand that. But look at how they painted South Africa while they were living. And this is a country that you are born and raised. And now when you're living, you are going and dismantling the name of South Africa, saying that there is a white genocide going on in South Africa. And Mr. Donald Trump, together with Elon Musk, took the initiative of taking these 70,000 white South Afrikaners to the United States, only for them to learn that the United States is in fact not the safest of all. They learned that the United States is not the safest of all, because tell me why you are going into the country, leaving the place that you have been raised majority of these years, leaving the opportunities, leaving jobs, leaving work, in the name of seeking a better pasture or seeking a greener pasture, only to reach there and learn that what you had back at home is better. What you had back in South Africa was better than what you're being offered in the United States. And right now, while Trump is coiling in his seat because of the war that's here to happen, or that the fear of Iran striking back, white South Africans, South Afrikaners are now seeing that, oh, we just got into a mess. We just got into a mess, and according to the way the wave is moving, we might just get affected. So what can we do? You know what? Let's start a petition. Let's start a petition of making us go back to South Africa. Right now, we don't want anything. We don't want the United States money. All we want to go back to Africa. We want to go back to South Africa. That's how right now they are operating. And that's how right now they are getting to see this all. But hey, this just explains one of the biggest hypocrisy that I'm seeing right now towards these folks, including Trump and Elon Musk, or Elon Musk, depending on how you call him. So while I was seeing all these psychers being played, white South Afrikaners trying to play all these psychers together with Trump, they didn't know that Trump will betray them. And on top of that, they didn't know that they'll get in between a mess between Iran and America right now, because they miss the peace that they had in South Africa. They miss the life that they had in South Africa, because they're getting to learn that America is more violent as compared to South Africa. Okay, South Africa somehow is known to be violent. I mean, gang and all that type of shit, right? But what I'm trying to say that when you try, like, comparatively with the United States, they learned that South Africa, comparatively, is in fact a better option for them. Even work-wise, they are learning that South Africa is a better option to them as compared to the United States. So these people, they are in their finding out stage, and they're learning that they are caught between this mess, and all they want to do right now, they just want to go back home. So, like, really, let me know what you think about this, because this is crazy. This is hypocritical. At the same time, these are just hypocrites, man. Because, I mean, look at how they painted South Africa while they were leaving South Africa. I don't think South Africa should let them back. South African government, I don't think Ramaphosa should let these people back. Because, look, I think they should even be sued, probably for country's defamation or anything like that. Because it doesn't make sense anymore what they painted South Africa. I mean, because you could see even some white South Afrikaners disagreeing with all these groups, 70,000 white South Afrikaners who are going to the United States. All this group of people didn't agree with them. And it's crazy that the United States is also a hypocrite, because we have ICE over there that is terrorizing American citizens. And Trump is bringing back non-US citizens into all this problem. So, like, I really don't know what should understand and how they should operate. So I really don't know what you think about this video, brothers and sisters. But that's all I had to say in regards to this. Please let me know what you think about this video. And as you know, I'm your host and presenter, Agent Stories. And until then, I'm hoping to see you on my next video. Well, until then, peace, love, and harmony. Salute.